Friends, in a world that often feels like a relentless current, pulling us towards endless consumption and anxiety, have you ever paused to wonder if there's another way? Path to genuine freedom, not dictated by bank balances or market fluctuations, but by something far more profound. We live in an age where the promise of happiness is perpetually dangled just beyond our reach, typically packaged as the next big purchase, the latest upgrade, or an experience designed to be shared instantly for fleeting validation. We are told that freedom is expensive, a luxury reserved for those who have accumulated enough. Yet so many of us find ourselves caught in a relentless cycle of personal debt, dopamine-driven spending, and a gnawing sense that true peace remains elusive. But what if I told you that the wisdom to navigate this chaotic landscape, to achieve an unshakable financial freedom, was articulated nearly 2 millennia ago by one of the most powerful men in history? Imagine Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, a man who commanded legions, governed an empire stretching across continents, and held unimaginable wealth and influence. Yet, this titan of an emperor chose a life of startling simplicity, famously valuing inner wealth, intellectual pursuits, and self-sufficiency over the opulent trappings of his station. He understood, with a clarity that still resonates today, that true power lay not in external possessions, but in the internal fortress of one's character. His timeless reflections, penned in his private journal, now known as Meditations, offer not just philosophical insights, but a radical financial mindset, a mental framework designed to keep us calm, rational, and resilient, even in the face of economic disaster. In a world engineered to exploit our insecurities and desires, Stoicism, the philosophy Marcus embodied, teaches us a foundational truth. We cannot control external events, but we absolutely control our reactions to them. It's a profound shift in perspective, recognizing that desire, that incessant craving for more, for what we don't yet possess, is truly the root of much of our suffering. Self-mastery, therefore, becomes not a burden, but the very bedrock of genuine freedom. Look around. Our modern economic system, with its glittering advertisements and easy credit, is often designed, whether intentionally or not, to keep us perpetually imbalanced, both financially and psychologically. It profits from our emotional instability, from our fear of missing out, from our constant striving for external validation. It thrives on the idea that happiness is a commodity to be bought, rather than a state of being to be cultivated. We are encouraged to chase after external markers of success: bigger houses, faster cars, more luxurious vacations, believing that these will finally bring us peace. Yet, for many, the pursuit only deepens the sense of entrapment. But Stoicism presents an alternative vision. It argues that true wealth isn't an external metric, it's an internal one. It's not about how much you have, but about the ability to live with integrity, to maintain your composure, and to find contentment when the world around you is spinning in chaos. It's about understanding that the most valuable assets you possess are your character, your tranquility, and your freedom from needing things you don't truly require. This isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a revolutionary blueprint for a life where you are the master of your own destiny. Regardless of the headlines or the market's whims, the journey to this profound freedom begins not with a new investment strategy, but with a profound shift in perspective, a revaluation of what truly constitutes a rich and fulfilling life. And that, my friends, is where our exploration truly begins. This revaluation, this profound shift in perspective, isn't some abstract philosophical exercise detached from the realities of our lives. No, it's a deeply practical path, a revolutionary blueprint for navigating the financial complexities of our chaotic world. It starts with understanding that true wealth isn't an external metric, it's an internal one. It's not about how much you have, but about the ability to live with integrity, to maintain your composure, and to find contentment when the world around you is spinning in chaos. One of the most potent tools in the Stoic arsenal for cultivating this internal wealth is what they called voluntary asceticism. It sounds daunting, perhaps even a little extreme. But it's not about self-deprivation for its own sake. It's about consciously and periodically detaching ourselves from comfort, from praise, from the outcomes we so desperately crave. Imagine choosing, just occasionally, to eat a simple meal when you could afford a feast, to walk when you could drive, to wear plain clothes when you have more luxurious options. Why? Not to suffer, but to prove to yourself that you are not enslaved by these external comforts. You are practicing resilience. You are building an inner fortress against the inevitable fluctuations of life. This practice directly translates into a radical approach to finance. Stoic finance isn't about chasing the next hot stock tip or agonizing over market fluctuations. It's about preparing for volatility, knowing that the world is inherently unpredictable. It's about actively reducing unnecessary expenses, not out of scarcity, but out of a conscious choice for independence. It's about realizing, with profound clarity, that true financial freedom doesn't come from having more, but from needing less. It's a subtle but monumental shift from the prevailing narrative that constantly tells us we need more, we deserve more, we are more, if we possess more. Think about that for a moment. In a world driven by credit, by incessant advertising, by the relentless pressure to consume, the Stoic mindset of needing less is nothing short of a direct threat to the very fabric of the modern economy. It challenges the fundamental assumption that growth equals happiness, that acquisition equals fulfillment. It pulls back the curtain on the illusion that more stuff will somehow complete us. It exposes the vulnerability of a system built on our insatiable desires, a system that profits from our emotional instability and our constant striving for external validation. This journey, then, is an intensely personal one. Your power, your true agency, begins not with waiting for external solutions. It's not with blaming the system, but with self-control. It begins with mastering your own mind, your own habits, your own expectations. It's about understanding that the external world will always present challenges, but your internal landscape, your response, is entirely within your domain. This self-mastery is the foundation upon which genuine financial freedom is built. Financial freedom, in this Stoic light, isn't measured by the size of your bank account or the value of your portfolio. It's measured by what you possess internally, the mastery over your desires, the clarity about your true needs, the unshakable tranquility that comes from knowing you are sufficient, exactly as you are, regardless of what tomorrow brings. It's about cultivating a deep sense of internal security that no market crash, no job loss, no economic downturn can ever truly diminish. It's about building a life not of abundance, but of enoughness. And in this profound realization lies the ultimate liberation. But how do we practically apply these ancient truths in our bustling, demanding lives? How do we bridge the gap between philosophy and daily action? That, my friends, is what we will explore next. How do we bridge the gap between philosophy and daily action? That, my friends, is what we will explore next. So, let's turn to the practical. The journey begins with awareness. It begins with a conscious decision to observe your own internal landscape. Ask yourself, what truly brings me value? Is it the fleeting thrill of a new purchase, or the enduring peace of a debt-free existence? Is it the admiration of others for what you own, or the self-respect that comes from living authentically within your means? Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, chose simplicity. He understood true power lay not in external dominion, but in internal self-mastery. For us in our chaotic modern world, this translates into practical steps. First, master your desires. Recognize the insidious dopamine loops that compel you to consume. When an advertisement screams, "You need this," pause. Ask, do I truly need this, or is this merely a desire planted by external forces? Practice voluntary asceticism, not deprivation, but conscious detachment. Can you occasionally forego a luxury you usually enjoy? Can you walk instead of drive? Can you cook at home instead of dining out? These small acts of self-restraint build powerful mental muscles, weakening the grip of external temptations and strengthening your inner resolve. They teach you that comfort, praise, and outcomes are not essential for your well-being. Second, prepare for volatility. The world will be chaotic. Markets will fluctuate. Unexpected expenses will arise. Stoic finance isn't about predicting the future, but about building resilience for whatever comes. This means creating a financial cushion, reducing unnecessary expenses, and understanding that your true security isn't in a stable market, but in your ability to adapt and be content with less. It's about recognizing that financial freedom isn't about having more, but about needing less. This radical shift in perspective is your most potent shield against economic storms. Think of it. If your happiness is contingent on constant upgrades, on keeping up with trends, on the approval of others, you are a slave to the system. But if your happiness is derived from internal virtues, integrity, reason, tranquility, then you are truly free. This internal wealth, this unshakable calm in the face of chaos, is the ultimate financial asset. No market crash can devalue it. No job loss can take it away. The modern economic system, fueled by credit and incessant consumption, thrives on your dissatisfaction, on your perpetual desire for more. Your decision to embrace enoughness, to practice restraint, to find contentment in simplicity, is not just a personal choice, it's a quiet rebellion. It's a reclaiming of your power. Your power begins not with external solutions, but with self-control. It begins with mastering your own mind, your own habits, your own expectations. It's about understanding that while the external world will always present challenges, your internal landscape, your response to those challenges, is entirely within your domain. This self-mastery is the bedrock upon which genuine financial freedom is built. So, what does financial freedom truly mean in this Stoic light?
Wow.
It is not merely the absence of debt or the presence of a hefty savings account.
Yes.
It is the liberation from the endless cycle of craving and acquiring. It is the profound peace that comes from knowing you are sufficient, exactly as you are, regardless of what tomorrow brings. It's about cultivating a deep sense of internal security that no external force can ever truly diminish. It's about building a life not of abundance, but of enoughness. This ancient wisdom, echoed through the centuries by an emperor-philosopher, offers us a radical path to liberation. It invites us to stop chasing external markers of success and instead cultivate the one true wealth that can never be lost. The wealth of an unperturbed mind, a disciplined will, and a heart content with what is truly essential. Embrace this journey. Begin today. Master your desires, cultivate resilience, and discover that the greatest riches lie not in what you accumulate, but in what you no longer need. This, my friends, is the enduring legacy of Stoic finance, the ultimate freedom found within.